Where do you meet the best girls? Where do you find the best women in the world? And a wise man once taught me this. Basically, I live with him and I learned it. The best women are the ones that you fly in, and the best place to meet them is at the airport when you pick them up. So let me talk about flying girls in, because this is something that nobody seems to talk about and nobody seems to have game on. And I'm not going to talk like I do this on a day-to-day basis, because I really don't. But my old roommates, I should say, used to do this every day. And between you and me, they had a lot of success with it. They did a very, very, very good job at organizing it. It was like a system that they had. And to be honest, the women that they met, the caliber of women that they met was absolutely insane. Now, mind you, this is not easy to do. It takes a little bit of things to kind of organize, but once you have it, it is a effortless system, and honestly, it's the best lifestyle that you could possibly live. First and foremost, let me talk about this. When you're searching worldwide, when you're searching really around the United States or wherever you may be, you're getting a larger pool of selection. So it's not just you trying to impress the highest quality girl in your city. It's you dealing with multiple brackets of high quality women in every single city across the United States. And so it's really easy to find high quality women that will be interested in you if you're looking at a large pool. One of the girls is going to like you. That's just fundamentally what it is. In your city, in the city that you're in, you may not have the girl that you want like you, because there's just a numbers game there. But when you're searching across the globe, it's a lot easier. Now, I'm not even saying the globe. I'm talking about your regional vicinity. Now, here's the next thing I want to talk about. Dating girls from your city is complicated, especially if you're from a small city. Because, like, where I'm from, like Cleveland, Ohio, everybody knows each other's exes. Like, I know every girl's ex. I know who she's been with. I know some tea on her, and I'm sure she knows some tea on me. Now, it could work in your benefit in a lot of regards. Like, for me, it works in my benefit because, personally, I don't sleep with girls in my city. I don't go out like that. I don't do that kind of stuff. I'll step out. I'll say hi to people, but I don't try to wine and dine and hit girls from my city like that. That's not what I do, because I run a lot of business there, and it's just not appropriate for me. And so, like, for me, it might work well because I don't have that reputation. But you sleep with one girl in a small city, everyone knows. I know you know this too. I know that if you're from a small suburb, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So from the city is not always the best. So the next best thing is to talk to a girl that doesn't necessarily know you. She doesn't know your reputation. On the flip side, you don't know hers. But you can really get to know each other for who you really are and interact on a raw level. And look, people will say, oh, you don't know her. You can learn about somebody from talking to them. They can only fake it so much. Like, you can tell what she's into, and she can tell what you're into as well. She can tell if you're a flirt, a bachelor, a XYZ, and that's also something that's going to show in the next process I'm going to talk about. When you're trying to fly a girl in, she ain't just going to fly in if you just want her to. Like, it's a lot of risk for women, okay? It's not always safe, okay? So my number one thing I'm going to tell you is, it's good if you have a brand, definitely on social media, because a girl can build a lot of trust with that. Number two, it's good if you live in a nice place. It's good if you live in a big city. So definitely a brand where you're proven, definitely living in a nice place, definitely, having a nice city that you're in. Like, I live in Miami, it could be done here. My roommates used to live in Cleveland, so they did it in Cleveland. But more than anything, you got to be able to talk to a woman and just have a normal conversation and be a normal human being. And I think this is like a lost skill of this generation, especially with men. You got to learn how to talk to women like they're just regular people, because women are regular people. Everyone's a regular person. Nobody is better than anybody else. So you got to learn just to have a conversation like, what's up? How's your day? What'd you eat today? What's on your agenda? Okay, that's super cool. Yeah, I've never done that before. My buddy has a thing like that. You got to learn how to talk to women on a normal level to where they understand, like, you're a regular person. And also, if a girl talks to me or my roommates at the time, they could tell we didn't have baby mamas running around, we didn't have kids, we didn't have ashtrays of cigarettes, we had no bad habits, we were not tweaking on the phone. And my roommates had a lot of time to kill because they were athletes. So it was practice, recovery, and they're on the FaceTime with the girl pretty much most of the time. So they'd be on FaceTime and they'd just be chilling. And I know you're like, oh, they're an athlete, of course it's easy for them. Yes, it is. But athletes are not the only ones that are doing this. Regular guys are doing this, and I've taught a lot of guys this game. Look, you need to learn how to talk to her, FaceTime her, get to know her, build that relationship with her. Say, hey, look, I'd love for you to come out and visit my city in Cleveland, Ohio, my city in Miami, Florida. I'd love to show you around. And it's an opportunity for her to travel. It's an opportunity for her to network. It's an opportunity for her to meet you. And guess what? She's on your agenda. She's on your timetable. She's going to do what you want her to do. Not in a bad way. Don't take this too far. But she's going to do what you want to do in like an agenda-based fashion. Now, my advice to you guys when you bring a girl in, have a 2-bedroom apartment, right? Here's another thing. You got to have an extra bedroom because you don't want her to feel pressured that you're just going to try to bed her right when she gets into town. That's very inappropriate. I wouldn't recommend it. And honestly, I never try to make the first move on a girl. I never make the first move on a girl. I don't do that. I only work with girls that want to make the move on me. I know it sounds weird, but I don't make the first physical move on a girl. When it comes to talking to her, asking her out, taking her out, all that stuff, I'll lead the interaction there. But when it comes physically, I never make the first physical move. It's just not safe for a lot of people nowadays. It's not appropriate in my opinion. I think the girl should be the one that craves it more, and I want her to break, and I want her to give that to me first. So I'll never expect it on the first night. And typically there's enough chemistry built up to where it could happen. But for a lot of guys, they need to understand this. Like, you cannot go into this with the mindset of you're going to bet it the first night. And to be honest, the most feminine, the most beautiful, the most attractive girls, when you're bringing them out of town, they're not just going to split it open. You don't want that. You don't want a girl that's just going to split it open and give it to you the first night a lot of times. Now, if it happens, great. I don't even judge that as well. But at the end of the day, I want you guys to go in with this with the correct mindset. You're going to meet these women on a genuine level to interact with them, and you're going to meet very high quality women. In fact, a lot of my guys that I knew that did this, the first girl they did this to, they ended up dating her. They ended up being with her. They ended up really starting a long-term relationship with her. So it's not what you think. It's not just, okay, let's fly girls in rotation mode, blah, 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 blah. At some point it was, but they meet a girl, they don't want to let go of her, and she just keeps coming back, and that's it. That's what it is. It's life. That's the relationship now. Now, flying girls in costs a little bit of money, and it's not as expensive as you think. Taking a girl out in your city to a nice restaurant, trying to impress her to places that she's already been to and already seen and already heard of, it's a diminishing return, okay? You might take a girl out to dinner.
Traffic jam ahead.
You might take a girl out to dinner, and it might be like $200, and she's already been there. She's heard of the restaurant, and it's like not even like good, for her. But you take a girl from a random city to a regular place, she's gonna be like, wow, this is a new city, I've never been here. And there's a lot of like regular places, like there's a spot in Cleveland, Ohio, Town Hall, Ohio, shout out to them, shout out to Town Hall. It ain't the most expensive place, but it's definitely a vibe. But every girl has already been there. So like if I were to take a girl out in Cleveland to Town Hall, Ohio, for example, they already know, they've already eaten there, they're not gonna be impressed. But if I take a girl from a different city to Town Hall, Ohio, she'll be like, wow, this is amazing, this is such a cool spot. And everybody knows it. So it's not gonna break the bank, it's gonna impress her beyond the level. And the money that it takes me to get the flight ticket is gonna still be, it's not gonna cost more as if I'm trying to continuously date a girl that's from the city. Also, dating a girl from your city, you're gonna have to see her back to back to back, do things back to back to back, she's always there. When you meet a girl that's outside of your city, it's honestly a lot more mentally, it's better, I would much rather do it because, look, I work a lot. I cannot have a girl on my shit 24/7. That's just me. And you might say, oh, that's not good for a relationship. Like, I just live an entrepreneurial lifestyle. And if you're a very busy guy, 2 to 3 times a week is really good for the interaction. And you can do that in a proximity-based relationship. But at the same time, it's much better, in my opinion, to have very high intense connection for 2 to 3 days and then go back to work, grind it out, make your money, focus on what you got to do. Obviously talk to her on the phone, have the conversation, nothing bad. You shouldn't drop the communication like that. But I think it's a lot better, and it's more adventurous, and it's like an experience every single time. It's amazing. And you guys don't even just have to go to your city. You could start taking trips. You can start doing stuff like that. And the relationship has so much more depth, so much more meaning when you start living it and being in that mindset. And the love story is just so much more romantic. Oh yeah, I met your mom. She worked at the pizza shop around the corner. I used to see her every single day. We used to walk by, and I eventually asked her out, and then we had you. That's less romantic of, okay, honestly, you might find it weird, but we met on a dating app. We connected. We talked for a little bit. She flew over here, took a leap of faith, and now we just kept visiting each other. We kept seeing each other. We saved up money for the plane tickets, and I kept, we split it halfway, and it became a thing. And so flying girls out, you meet higher quality women, you meet women that you don't necessarily need to know all their baggage or have to go through all that nonsense with them. There's no local drama of her ex-boyfriend following you or doing this or that. And it's just a raw experience where you guys genuinely get to know each other. So flying girls in is the best way to do it. If you got a little bit of money, if you have a little bit of a lifestyle, if you got an apartment to yourself and you live in a city, honestly, a city is the best. And, you have the money to spend and invest in dating, which I think is a goal that we all want to get to. But you can impress a girl just by bringing her in your city, and she's going to be impressed by the surroundings. So hopefully that makes sense, guys. Definitely fly the girls in. Way better. My advice right there and then.